Now, despite the freaky deaky lighting in today's video saying otherwise, we're actually well into 2024 now. And so, as always, that means it's time for another income report on the websites and how they performed back in December 2023. Now, as many of you know, the websites were absolutely obliterated, unfortunately, in the past couple of months or so, and things have just been going from bad to worse. But have they recovered a little bit in January, or is it still a disaster that's unfolding before my eyes and I'm not sure what to do? Yeah, you can probably tell it's that. In the video today then, guys, as always, I'm going to dive into the earnings, the page views, and of course the goals for next month when it comes to the websites, starting of course with the behemoth that is site number one. So site number one is around about 3 and a bit years old. It has 116 posts on it that haven't been touched in around about 2.5 years. For many of you already know the story, but it's the first website I ever created. So loads of mistakes were made, but it did gain a decent amount of page views after about that first year or so. Last month then, December 2023, this website brought in a grand total of, let's see here, 873 page views, which is pretty pathetic, let's be honest. And it's actually surprisingly down on the previous month's 1600. To give you guys a bit of background, this website usually generates anywhere between, I don't know, 1,500 to 3,000, 4,000 page views every single month. So this is actually the first month it's made a pretty significant drop in traffic, which is obviously quite unfortunate. But considering I do absolutely nothing to this website and it just brings in a little bit of money every single month, I'm not really too worried about this. Well, it's really awful, isn't it, today? So yeah, this website, the good news about this website then is that it is indeed monetized both through Ezoic and through Amazon Associates. Last month it brought in $9.46 from Ezoic and $12.31 from Amazon Associates. So tiny little bit of spare change there for a grand total of $21.77 in total. Not a massive amount of earnings, to be honest, and it's not really looking very good for this website, but you know, it is what it is. So what about site two? So site two is the main website I talk about in these blog income report videos. You know, it's one of the most important websites I've built here. It's the one that I took all the learnings from site number one directly into site number two, and for a period this website was going pretty well. I think at its peak, I think it must have been like maybe, I want to say August last year or maybe July last year, it was over 20,000 page views, so doing very well. And then unfortunately, as you're probably hearing from a lot of other bloggers in the space, this website was absolutely annihilated by Google's algorithm update, dropping 20-30% every single month. So is that the case for January? Just to give you guys some very brief statistics, then this website's around about 2.5 years old, has just over 200 posts on it, and it's updated, well, it was updated fairly frequently before Google took a torpedo to it. Now, this is obviously incredibly frustrating to say, but this website once again dropped traffic too, and this is actually a pretty big drop, unfortunately. So it earned around about 5,000 page views last month, and this month, or December rather, it brought in only 3,200 page views. So again, another pretty big drop of around about 30 to 40%, which is pretty messed up. Now, don't get me wrong, some of this is probably due to the seasonality of the website, but I don't really have high hopes for this website anymore. Because usually when websites drop a significant amount of traffic, they usually jump back up, whereas when a website steadily declines and loses traffic every single month, there isn't really a lot you can do about it, which is really unfortunate. Now, the silver lining for this website, I guess, is that it is monetized both through Ezoic and through third-party affiliates. It didn't bring in any affiliate income last month, but it did bring in a grand total of $36.18 from Ezoic there, so a little bit of income. Again, this is down on the previous month, but not really too much that we can do about this. So yeah, not the best update, and unfortunately it looks like the downward trajectory on these websites is unfortunately continuing. Sucks. Goals for next month. Now, I'd love to sit here and say, yeah, I'm going to turn things around on the websites, I'm going to publish an additional 300 posts next month and drastically increase the amount of traffic, but the repeated statistics of the downward trajectory are just basically informing my decision that unfortunately in 2024 it genuinely seems like websites are no longer really a valid option by themselves. That is, if you're doing it in the old traditional niche website kind of way. Instead, you definitely need to build a brand across multiple channels on YouTube, Pinterest, all these different elements to stand a chance in terms of the niche website space. On top of this, one of the other really important factors is Google is most definitely taking more and more of the search as the years go on. With the introduction of Bard and with the introduction of some of these other services there that they're offering, taking away a lot of the traffic from us bloggers there, which is incredibly unfortunate. But you know, when you see the writing on the wall, it's time to kind of potentially pivot and move into different directions. As such, next month, I'm not going to touch these websites. I'm not going to add any additional content on them because I'm not going to invest any additional time and resource into these websites if they're not producing the desired result, right? It's just the sunken cost fallacy, unfortunately. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start pivoting towards Amazon stuff, maybe sending on Amazon, tracking the journey on this YouTube channel, but still providing you with regular updates in terms of how the websites are doing. I'll also then continue to publish content around the sales process, which, let's be honest, was the bread and butter for this YouTube channel for around about a year and a half before you kind of pivoted a little bit to the blogging space there. So yeah, gang, not ideal at all, but wanted to be perfectly honest with you. And the last thing I wanted to do is kind of, you know, lie directly to you guys like some kind of fake guru pretending I'm doing a fantastic job on the websites when in reality things are just not going very well at this moment and the entire industry looks like it's genuinely suffering. Those are my thoughts. Fingers crossed your websites maybe did, or your side hustles rather, did a little bit of a better job. As always, if you are interested in more videos around, you know, blogging, sales, side hustles, Amazon stuff potentially going forward, absolutely smash the like and subscribe button, as they both really genuinely do help out the channel. And until next time's video, I'll leave you to it, gang. All the best for now. Have a good one. Bye.